Today, I'm going to share with you a concept that's going to change the way you think forever and change the way how you approach yourself in life forever. If you ever seen the movie with Jim Carrey in it, The Mask, this is exactly the breakdown we're going to go through today. The Mask, even though it was a funny movie, had so much underlying truth to it that the mask we wear in life determines how we show up, how we take action, and the results we end up getting. You see, Jim Carrey wears that mask and it allows him to adopt this alter ego of this rich, confident man. And you see that as he wore this mask, he got the girl, he got the money, he got the car, he got all the things that he wanted to get, all from wearing the mask. Now, what if I told you that we all wear a mask and most of us wear a mask that is actually disempowering, that puts us down, and that we can actually change that mask to then create a better personal reality, to create a better life for ourselves. So today, guys, I'm going to show you how you can change your personal mask by understanding the mask itself. What is the mask? Where does it come from? And how to truly break free from it. So let's dive into the whiteboard. So this process I'm going to share with you here today, when I was about 17 years old, or after the age of 17, we'll say, I really started questioning things like, who am I really? And then my ideas were like, well, I am Caden. Who is Caden really? Well, Caden is an entrepreneur. Caden is a snowboarder. Caden is an athlete. He's someone who works out. But is that really me? No, these are just tiny labels, tiny expressions of my whole self. And I went through this massive questioning process. And at the end of it, I had such a crazy realization that really did genuinely change the rest of my life moving forward. It allowed me to become so much more confident, so much more excited about life, so much more mysterious about how things really are in this world and who we are as a being. This has also helped me accomplish my materialistic success in life as well when it comes to money, travel, freedom, and just different dreams and goals that I've had over the years. So here's how it works. Now I ask you that number one is that if you like this, make sure you like and subscribe. Number two, make sure you keep an open mind as we go through this training today. It's all about personal development, it's all about growth, it's all about getting better and reaching that next level of our success. So, first thing I want you to ask yourself here is, why do you do the things that you do in life? Why do you go to work? Why do you go to the gym? Why do you chase the girls? Why do you chase the people? Why do you want to do the things that you want to do, accomplish things that you want to do, say the things that you do, right? Well, if you really dig deep enough, eventually you're going to come to the answer of like, well, this is just who I am, right? I had this job. It's just a part of me. I got to pay my bills. Like, it's just how the world works. It's just who I am. Like, this is my job. Okay, well, who I am. Who is that? When you say this is who I am, right? So you might say, well, that is me. You're going to say your name, right? For me, it'd be like, who I am. I am Caden. Okay, right? Who is Caden? Okay, so who is Caden? So then we start to question it deeper, right? Well, I am this age, I am this gender, I am, these are my passions, the things I do. What you'll come to realize, though, is that all the things that you're going to list are just labels, thoughts, a lot of limits. They're just these ideas that create your sense of self, okay? Your self concept. That's all it is. But you cannot explain the full you. It does not explain the full you. If anything, it limits you down, right? I am a snowboarder. That puts you in a classification. I am a business owner. That puts you in another classification. But it's not actually who you are. These are just things that you do, things that you believe you are, things that you think you are, right? Classifications that society puts you in. These all just create your sense of self, and that is just then how you function in the world. Right? If you are somebody who, let's say you are a confident person, you're going to act differently than the person who has very high anxiety, worry, and low confidence. Right? So your sense of self then dictates how you show up and be in this world. Now, for most of us, these labels, a lot of the ingrained ones that then kind of dictate everything else in our lives, was created through past programming and conditioning as a young child. And then we grow up to think this is who we are, who we believe we are, right? And then, of course, you accomplish more things, you do other things, and that creates more of your sense of self. Now, this sense of self then becomes the mask you wear in your life in society. It's not the full you, right? It is the mask that you wear. It is the mask that you wear that allows you to then speak from, show up, know how to act, how to be, know your place in society. That is the mask that you're wearing, but it's not the full you, right? We know this now because, through these questions, because the full you is the one beyond the labels, is the one beyond this self concept, right? It's the one underneath the mask. So the mask is a self concept you created, and your experiences in life unfold around this, but it's not solidified. Now, how does that work? I'm going to explain here in a second. Because without the mask, who would you be then? If you didn't have your sense of self, if you didn't know that you are this particular person, who you think you are and why you do the things you do, who would you be then? If all those labels and everything was stripped away, who would you be? Behind all of that, you would be the one who is experiencing it all. You would be the one who is pure presence, who is experiencing it all for how it is. You'd be the one who is then aiming to form or create the next mask that you're going to wear. Because it seems that in this world, how we function, we kind of need a mask. We need an ego. We need a sense of self to be grounded, to actually build off of and create things and function in this world. Right? You ever meet somebody who might be too much in la la land, too much in the clouds, where they don't have a strong sense of self? So it's important that we do have some sort of mask, as long as the mask is serving us and not disempowering us. But if you didn't have this mask, who are you really? I really want you to pause the video and think of that for a second. Who am I really? If I am not just this entrepreneur, this snowboarder, this guy, this gym bro, this whatever it may be, who am I actually? Because these are all just labels. So who am I actually? I'm the one behind all of this, experiencing it all for how it is. That's who you really are. So if that's the case, if that is the case, knowing this to be true, now we can ask ourselves, well, if that is actually who I am and I am not this mask and somehow I'm wearing this mask, does this mask I wear actually help me? Does this give me the life I want? Or is this just a role that I've been playing that I actually don't like? That I just been going with the flow in? That someone almost programmed me into this mask or pushed me into this mask, or society caused me to wear this mask, or my parenting caused me to wear this mask. And this is just who I've been. And it's narrowed me down this alley. But now that I question it, is this the alley that I want to be walking down? Is this the mask that I want to wear for the rest of my life? Or is there maybe a better mask that I can wear? Maybe a new mask that fits me better. Because so many of us, so many of us, we deal with so many different challenges, disempowering beliefs, thoughts, feelings, so much suffering. And I truly believe a lot of it comes because of the mask that you've been wearing in life. Because reality itself, your experience here is purely just neutral. But the meaning you give to the events that happen in your life, how you define the situations that happen, the stories that you tell that either make you better or worse, it all comes from a certain limited perspective, right? A bias. And that bias, that perspective comes down to, again, your belief system. So how the mask is created and how it's changed, it all comes from the same root. The mask is created through the belief system, and it's also changed from the belief system. Allow me to explain this to you. So here's your mask. The mask is who you think you are, all these ideas that you have about yourself. But who you think you are comes from your past. If your past did not exist and you just showed up into this world today, who would you be? You wouldn't be anything. You would just go out and explore and experience everything for how it was. You'd be so curious. You'd be like your little child self. But now with this mask that you wear in life, you don't do certain things that you might even want to do because the mask dictates your life. I had a client one time and I asked her when she feels her happiest and best. And she said when she plays with her grandchild. And I asked why. And she said because she's not overthinking. She's purely present. She's just being, experiencing, having fun like a child. That is who she genuinely is. But then when she goes out into the real world, she wears this mask, who she thinks she is. And it causes a lot of anxiety and worry. So this mask is created though from your past experiences, again, your conditioning, your programming, right? And that creates the mask that you wear today. And again, I will say that it can be uncomfortable changing this mask because the ego is tied into this mask. The ego doesn't want you to change mask because this is your sense of self. This is who you've always been. If this is not who I am, then who am I really? I don't know who I am. And I'm worried that if I change who I am, then I might lose certain things in life. Don't worry. That's all an illusion of the mind. That's all a construct of the ego. That's literally the ego's thoughts to get you worried and scared so you don't change. But you must realize that you are the one behind the mask. You're the one experiencing it all for how it is. And the more and more you face those fears, you'll find freedom on the other side every time. So, this mask that you wear is who you think you are, which is created from your past. Okay? And that's why you're finding more of yourself in the future, because that's just how it works. Your brain is a prediction machine. Who you believe you are, your brain then goes and search for evidence and patterns and repetitions of your past to create that future over and over and over and over again. So your mask is created through the meaning that you gave to your experiences in childhood, the thoughts that you have about yourself, the experiences that you had that then you gave meaning or you defined in a certain way, the emotions that you have. Emotions and thoughts create identity, and also ego as well, which is ego is the protector of identity. And this all then forms the mask that you wear. But all of these things, where does it come from? Because so many people talk about how, okay, well, let's work on changing our thoughts. And this is why so many people struggle to change when they get help. Because we don't focus on the root. We focus on symptoms, but we don't focus on the actual root that's causing the symptoms. So like we focus on changing our thoughts. We try to dig into our emotions more. But the reason why all these are occurring in the first place comes down to the number one thing, the root, which is your belief system. Your belief system produces the thoughts and emotions that you have on a daily basis. The thoughts that you have are not you. You can't predict the next thought. Your thoughts are coming from the beliefs that you have. Okay, your beliefs shape your bias, your perspective, your view on things. It forms the thoughts that you have. Same thing with emotions as well. Emotions are not just going to be random. They're not just going to be absolutely random. They're sparking from something. So your beliefs create the thoughts and emotions you have, which thoughts and emotions held over time. Again, neurons that fire together, wire together, create your identity, your sense of self. Then ego is a construct that protects the identity at all cost. And then your brain then goes and figures out how to find evidence of this sense of self in the future by looking into the past, and it replays and recreates the same story over and over and over and over again. Now, also, your actions is what produces materialistic results in your world, right? It produces actual real results. It causes you to make money, lose relationships, have better relationships, causes you to have better self concept, get fit, get healthy, get fat. Your identity creates that because your identity forms your actions, because actions and behaviors come from identity, right? A Christian goes to church, they read the Bible, they pray to God because that is their identity. That's who they believe they are. So it all stems from the belief system. Your belief system forms you, and you form your personal reality. Okay, your belief system forms you, and you form your personal reality. You might have ideas like, no, but reality has a certain objective, there's a certain truth to reality, or there's certain ways of reality. Reality is just neutral. There's objective truths, but reality itself, all experiences, everything happening is all just neutral. With you, your consciousness, your personal perspective, your personal view is what forms the meaning behind it all. So your belief system creates you, and you create your personal reality. Let that one sink in, because once you get that, just this one nugget will change your entire life. It'll show you how powerful you genuinely are as a creator of your personal reality. It will show that you're not just a victim of your past and you're stuck for the rest of your life. It'll show you that you're not a victim to your current circumstances, your current location in life. Don't buy into that crap. Don't buy into that crap. It does not help you. Even if you are in a worse situation than most people, even if you have had a terrible past experience, even if you have gone through horrible things in life, acknowledge it, allow it, see it, but don't let that shape your future. It doesn't serve you. It does not serve you for the better, we'll say, for the good, as in to create a better personal life experience. So, examples. Somebody who has a belief system that they are worthy, that they are abundant, that they have amazing trust, and they are completely free in life, their sense of self is going to be a very strong, powerful, rich sense of self, and therefore they're going to create a very strong, powerful, rich life. You know, the rich get richer, right? The idea behind that. A lot of rich kids end up just easily being rich in their lives because they have the right programming passed down. At least not right programming, but the programming of how to get rich and wealthy. The poor get poorer. Totally true as well. It's all programming. It's all programming. If you don't believe me, just look that over 80% of millionaires are self-made. Over 80% of millionaires. Most people think it's passed down the family, which that is something, that is truth to an extent, but I think it's like 70 to 80% are self-made. They made a decision that they're not going to let their past create their future, and they're going to grip the steering wheel and create that life that they want. And that's just richness, right? That's just being rich. Same thing for health. You look at most unhealthy people, look at their parents as well. It's a passed down thing, it's conditioning, it's programming. So when we change, everything else changes around us, but it starts with you. So someone who has this belief system creates a very powerful, strong sense of self, and they go find that evidence in their external world. So they create the materialistic results because the brain doesn't care about what's actually true or not true. It cares about serving its belief system. So if that's what you believe to be true, you are literally hardwired to make that reality happen. That is how manifestation works. You step into the state, you think and feel as the being that you want, as the results that you want. That forms identity, that forms actions, and as you stay consistent with those actions, you get the results that you want in your life. So reality mirrors your belief system. It reflects back your belief system. Reality is neutral, okay? And it will then reflect back your belief system, what you choose to focus on. And it's really cool if you look into quantum physics as well, because you'll see how in quantum physics, everything is all just potential. There's all this multiple possibilities and potentials until you take action within it. What I mean by that is that until you focus on it, so once you focus on whatever that potential is, you start collapsing all the other potentials. And the more you focus on one potential, then it starts to form, it starts to structure into actual reality. Okay, all these possible possibilities, all these waveforms start to actually collapse and start to create a personal structured reality, actually turn nothing into something. But it starts with you, which is pretty unbelievable to think about. So to change, if you want to change your mask, I'll give you a little tidbit because this is kind of the work that I do with my special clients here. To change, if you want to change, you must step outside of yourself. Okay, because I'll tell you, once you change your mask in life, everything else is going to change as well. If you want confidence, if you want love, if you want to create that next 6, 7 figures in your business, if you want to expand your wealth, it is all going to come from your mask because the mask is your identity and your identity determines what you can handle in your life. So, to change this, you must be able to step outside of yourself. A few ways you can step outside of yourself. I mean, number one is, psychedelics for sure, because they allow you to really observe and be present and have that deep thinking and that reflection. But many other ways is honest reflection with yourself, having deep, honest self reflection. Okay, not being tied into your stories, not gripping on tightly to your belief systems, being willing to change and adapt to find a better truth. Curiosity, because curiosity will defeat fear. So as you find fear, be very curious about the fear. Where is the fear coming from? Why would I be feeling this fear? What even is this fear? As you're curious, you will find the truth. And then next is proper questioning. Questions to ask yourself like, what would I have to believe to be true about myself in order to be feeling so sad right now? And then when you ask those questions, you would then come upon answers of like, well, in order for me to feel sad right now, I have to feel that I'm just not good enough. And then you can recognize that, hey, that's a belief system. And now that you know after this training how powerful your belief system is, then you can change it. Because once you realize that your belief system, the beliefs that you had, the limiting beliefs or the fears that you have, once you realize that they're not rooted in actual truth and they're rooted in some programming, there's no actual root to it. Once you realize that, you can change it. And once you change it, the whole pattern, the whole process that came from that belief system changes as well because there's no need to repeat that old pattern. So, example, if you believe you're not worthy and you think and feel in sad ways and then you act in ways of unworthiness, like you don't take the opportunity, you don't allow yourself to receive gifts, you don't chase your dreams, and then the results are you don't get the dreams, there's no need to continue to act in that pattern, to act, feel, think, and be that way because the root that was coming from that, everything that was coming from that, the root, the belief system, it's gone now. So once it's gone and you change it and you apply a new belief system, the new process and pattern can start to take place. And then you can start to create new results in your life. So that is the training for today that I'll leave you off with. If you want to learn more, make sure you subscribe down below as I'm dropping 2 trainings every single week on these topics here on how to level up your life, change your personal reality, learn more about your human potential, build self-belief, the whole 9 yards, succeed in business. Make sure you subscribe for more and follow me on Instagram as well for details for coaching in my program on how to truly transform your life at the highest level to reach your next level of success. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment down below what hit home the most today, and I'll see you on the next training.